Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and today I am joined by Team Liquid jungler Santorin coming off of a really dominant win against Golden Guardians. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. After last week, kind of losing 2 games in a row, I'm happy the loss streak did not continue. So it feels really good right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was, of course, going to bring up, you guys probably weren't the happiest after ending last week 1 and 2. So I just wanted to get some insight. What were this week's scrims and practices like?
So honestly, we only scrimmed 2 days. So we took Monday and Tuesday off because we felt like we kind of need like a not mental reset, but just like we felt some of us felt exhausted. Not enough like downtime. I feel like. So we took some time off. Scrimmed 2 days, and then we actually scrimmed prior to our game today. So we played like 2 matches against our academy team, and then we played our stage match. So we didn't have that much practice this week, and I'm not gonna like get too much into like the hype right now because it was not like the hardest opponent we're facing. The next two coming up are gonna be a lot harder. But it feels good right now.
Mm-hmm. What were there any things you guys changed during your practices or your couple scrims that you did that you think might have led to this or at least
Ye-
influenced it?
yeah, I think so. I think we're playing more synergizing team compositions. So it's like somewhat easier to play. I feel like we were playing in very hard mode last week, where it's champions that can definitely work if you play really, really well. But if you make a mistake, it's gonna be really hard. So now the compositions we're playing are just like easier, and if you make a mistake, you can still come back in the game, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And with those easier synergizing compositions, is there someone you guys are trying to focus all your might, I guess, through? Like, is it like protect the horse comps or things like that?
Not really. I mean, I think like every single composition you're drafting, there's gonna be someone that's gonna carry the game. So for example, this game, like we also had Camille, like these kind of champs that can like win through side and that kind of stuff. So it's just like compositions that you can do a lot of things with. Like there's so many places you can carry from. And you have a lot of engage, so it's just like a lot easier to play the game. Whereas last week we were playing like Rise, Quinn, stuff like that. Very minimal engage. If you make one mistake, you get one shot. So that's kind of like some of the changes.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, talking about Quinn and Camille, for example. So you and Alphari came in a little late into the lock-in. Like you guys showed up, and then a couple days later, you're in the lineup. And I think a lot of people have been really impressed with the way you two have synergized. So, like Core JJ, Tactical, and Jensen, they've been the three Team Liquid mainstays for the past like year. And then you guys come in and you guys immediately start hitting it off. What's it been like learning to work with Alphari and getting synergized in that sense?
I like it a lot. He's a really nice guy, easy to work with. He has a really clear way of how he wants to play the game, which makes it a lot easier for a jungler. Like if you always know this is how my top lane would like to play the game. So it's been really nice so far. And in terms of like champion pool, I mean he plays anything in the game. So it's amazing in terms of like getting good compositions. Like I also mentioned like the Rise Quinn stuff, but that doesn't mean we won't play it. Like we can still pull it out if it looks good. It's just like sometimes we just kind of overforced it a little bit because he's just so good at these champions. So now we're like trying to make sure like it makes sense when we're picking these champions.
Mm-hmm. And moving on from that, big news of the day is the import rule stuff, right? Yeah, you knew this was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of these NA guys that's been around for a long time. You're an IMT resident, which means, for all intents and purposes, you are NA, right? Like, you and Jensen kind of fit that mold, and you're
Yeah.
two of the, like, handful of players that have that description. A lot of players, like, Revenge was really vocal about it on Twitter. Vulcan was really vocal about it on Twitter. Like, Carlos over from G2 has been up in arms about it. There's been a huge negative like reaction to it, and I just wanted to see what's your reaction to the news that the import rule might get lifted.
Yeah, so I mean, the clear example I remember was LMQ playing in NA, and it just made zero sense. As a fan, like I was not like competing in that region at that time. I like watching LMQ play because it's like it's different, basically like team from a different region just coming over and like playing well in NA. But in terms of like the infrastructure and like how it actually works out, I think it's terrible for the league if they just remove it. I don't really see the purpose because right now, like if you think about it, I mean, with the way like green cards and that kind of stuff work, like you can become an NA player pretty quickly already. I just don't want a team like let's say like a Chinese team that just like buy your way in and just put a full roster in and just be like, hey, like we're in this region now. I just don't see how that's considered like an American team then. I feel like that kind of like ruined the whole rooting for the NA team. Like, imagine your best team is just like a full Chinese team, and it's like there's nothing American about it, and they're competing for you. That, to me, like, if I was a fan, I wouldn't like that, and as a pro player, it doesn't make any sense either.
Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that when people are afraid, it means like the collapse of people loving LCS as we know it. So you think those are fears are pretty justified then in that case, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I also think just like if it's gonna happen in NA, it would have to happen in EU too. Like, else it wouldn't make any sense, you know. Like, it's just like I feel like there's so many things that you have to think about, and I just don't see how it's gonna become a positive thing overall. Maybe NA would be slightly stronger, who knows? But just in general, I just don't see why this would be a good thing to do for NA.
Mm-hmm. If the import rule were, do you think it's fine as it is, or do you think that if there were any changes to be made, would they have to be small?
Honestly, I haven't thought about it too much. I mean, I was kind of lucky. I just got grandfathered in, so I've just been in NA for like I don't even know how long now. I think it is gonna hit a point though, because it's getting easier and easier to become an NA resident. That, I mean, you might just see teams with like straight up no Americans on it, and that is like almost happening already. You know, like for example, like our team is basically just tactical.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
tactical,
so
because
yeah.
what is it? Core JJ and Alphari are your imports, then you and Jensen are IMT, so you guys are grandfathered in.
Yeah, and let's say like a call for some reason gets in a residency, then suddenly you could actually just make a full lineup with no imports. So I think it's almost like getting to the point that some teams, not teams, but like some people were talking about like the remove the rule. But I think this is like more natural way, because it's like people slowly becoming NA players have been playing for the region for a couple of years, and just like pulling in a full team that you're just gonna like put into the region. So I way prefer how it is right now.
Mm-hmm. And just to clarify, when you say become an NA resident, you mean become grandfathered in and not actually get permanent residency in the United States.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, I just mean like
yeah,
considered an NA
yeah,
player.
I mean, I knew what you meant. I just wanted to clarify. So
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
They're like, wait, I can just come to America.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. What's it like being a jungler for Team Liquid? You've been around for a long time, as we've established like a million times already. What makes Team Liquid different?
I really like working with for Team Liquid. It just makes it really easy when you have laners that are super smart and super good at the game. Because I feel like they understand my role really well too. So they understand what I should be doing on the map, and it's very easy to communicate to them what I want to do, and then they can communicate what they want to do, and mutual understanding. Sometimes when you're in teams, like some teams might not understand how jungle is supposed to work, or like some people are really, really aggressive about how they want to play the game, and sometimes you just get dragged too much as a jungler. I have 4 really reasonable guys that are really good at the game, and when they call for me, it's usually really good. Same as like just the overall game flow is just really nice when you have players that can carry in every single position. So I feel like me as a jungler have way more options that I have on some of the other teams.
So I take it that, would you say your playstyle then in this case becomes more of like, I'm here not necessarily to become the ace for my team to play through, but to make sure the aces get their job done?
See, so that's what's really nice about this team. I think everyone is ready to kind of drop being the ace and help someone else become the ace, which means like no matter what play style we're gonna play, like I feel like we're gonna succeed at it, and that means like any meta we should be able to play, because I feel like everyone can support each other and everyone can be the carry, so it makes it like really, really good in terms of like the overall LCS, because when meta shifts sometimes teams crumble, and I don't think we're gonna be one of them.
Mm-hmm. Would you say your team does that the best, like play that swapping aces style?
I think so in NA right now. I think we are the most I wouldn't say most talented team, just like overall the team that could synergize the best. Just because like I feel like we're really good players in every single role. Some teams are really, really good, but there are certain players that prefer just playing this style, and they're not as good at the other styles. But I feel like we're really good at that.
All right, awesome. Santorin, thanks for your time, man. Once again, this is Matt Tebow with Stacked. You can find us online at stacked.gg and follow us on our socials at stackedll. Santorin, man, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, and good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.